Middle-earth: Shadow of War has quickly climbed the ranks of some of my favorite games of all time ever since I played it for a review at the beginning of last year. I had really enjoyed the first game, Shadow of Mordor, but Shadow of War took everything Mordor did so well and improved upon it in so many ways, which is why I consider it to be a perfect sequel. This game did have a bit of a controversial launch back in 2017 because it featured a lot of microtransactions which were then completely removed from the game. Many may have wrote it off before ever really giving it a fair chance, and if you haven't tried this game yet and are a fan of open world games, specifically you Assassin's Creed fans, I think this is a series you'll really enjoy. Both Mordor and War are great games, and slaughtering orcs is just the most addicting thing ever. But Shadow of War did everything a sequel should, and that's take what made the previous game so fun and addicting and make it bigger and better. For starters, Shadow of War is a much larger game in scale when compared to Mordor. The difference in size is quite extreme, as Mordor had only 2 small regions, while Shadow of War comes out here with 5 massive regions in the world. Shadow of War is a game you could easily put over 100 hours in. The Nemesis system alone allows for so much replayability. I really can't believe more games haven't started using the Nemesis system, because it's easily one of the best parts of these Middle-earth games. Killing the chain of command, building your own army, having your orcs infiltrate and rise the ranks. You can have them ambush other captains or become bodyguards. There's just so much to do within that system alone. Not to mention the insane amount of little stories that can be created with it, whether it's orcs you killed, surviving and coming to kill you and claim revenge, or one of your orcs breaking free of your grasp and betraying you. The Nemesis system was great in Mordor as well, but they made some great improvements to it in Shadow of War with so much more depth and customization. You can train your orcs and raise their levels, get the mounts or upgraded weapons. The whole system is just really addicting. The core of the combat and stealth for the most part remain the same, which is fine because it was already great, and there were tons of new skills and abilities available to unlock. Orcs were also given more unique strengths and weaknesses, making each fight against the captains a little different and forcing you to adapt and exploit weaknesses and put a bigger emphasis on intel gathering. The animations in the game are phenomenal. They look so awesome, and there's an insane amount of variety in them. I'm still discovering new execution animations to this day, so round of applause to the animators for this game because wow. The fortresses and sieges were one of the biggest new additions to Shadow of War, where you can build up your own massive orc army and siege enemy fortresses and conquer them. It's a battle on massive scales with multiple waves and tons of captains and war chiefs involved, and each region in the world has one of these fortresses to conquer. Not to mention you can do these sieges online as well. One of my biggest issues I remember when I was playing Shadow of Mordor, the first game, was the game felt too easy and there was no difficulty settings. Shadow of War added tons of difficulty options, and the game is significantly harder than the first one. It can get very chaotic and challenging when you're caught in a battle with a huge swarm of orcs. Shadow of War is the perfect example of what I feel a sequel should do to further improve and innovate a series. It took what people loved from the first game and put it on a much larger scale, while further improving and upgrading the core features that people loved about the first game. If you haven't tried the Middle-earth series yet, I highly recommend you do so. Both games are great, and if you're looking for more detailed reviews, I'll leave links to my reviews of both games in the description. But if you have played Shadow of War already, let me know your opinion on the games down in the comments, and if you agree whether or not it was the perfect sequel to Shadow of Mordor. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you left a like on the video and considered subscribing if you're new here. And other than that, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day, everyone.